Texans Swarm! All right, we heard from Nick Wright earlier in the show from First Things First, saying that C.J. Stroud is a great pick for MVP in 2024, and that we might be calling him the second best quarterback in the NFL at the end of the year. I also think that is on the table. Chris Long of the Green Light Podcast, which I think is a great listen. I really enjoy Chris. He also has been loving on the Houston Texans this offseason. Now, of course, we've heard a lot about C.J. Stroud. Here is Chris talking about the starting quarterback for the Houston Texans.
We'll see. I think they got better in a lot of areas, and I think CJ's a big enough dude to handle the Diggs thing. And right now they're just trying to win. They wouldn't have gone out and done the Diggs thing if they didn't think CJ is a grown man enough to handle the situation. He's going to be – and Nico Collins and Tank Dell, the whole thing, like they're just a good football team, and people should be afraid of the Texans, and they should be afraid of the Packers. But I think the Texans did some things this offseason that really impressed me.
All right, I think that's fair. CJ Stroud, year 2, any concerns before we move on?
The whole sophomore slump thing. Listen,
I don't have him, but
no, I don't have him. Hey, listen, you watch him play the Jets when nobody's out there at wide receiver, he looks like a rookie. But it also reinforces that the delta between him and like the dude down in Carolina, Bryce, might not be as big as people think. For instance, because when you see a guy go out there without the talent around him, he's not perfect. I'm not saying he's like Jordan, but the guy is like he gives me Burrow vibes, CJ. And when they went and beat Cincinnati on the road, everybody should have been like, okay, this team's going to be for real for a long time.
Woo! For real for a long time. Mm-hmm. Burrow vibes. I will say, as far as the sophomore slump goes, I am skeptical it will happen. But as I've said a couple of times, having been out at Texans training camp, the offense has been very sluggish through 10 practices.
Yeah,
we are talking about practice, but
I didn't believe in it at all. But just the more you go and come back and tell us what's going on, the less just encouraged I feel.
It's the offensive line, I think, is the big issue right now.
Yeah, and if he's getting eaten alive every single game, it's gonna be challenging. You play some good defense and some good defensive lines this year. Like, yeah, there will be lucky breaks. Like when you play Indianapolis week 1, their best pass rusher has a torn ACL and he's out for the season. So like you catch a little bit of a break there, but this offensive line is not deep. If Tunsil or Howard goes down and they have to start doing the whole Howard to left guard and Blake Fisher to right tackle thing, none of that is positive. You lack depth at this point. So I'm starting to open my eyes to the CJ Stroud sophomore slump. I'm ready. I'm not gonna. We got to see what the what are they called? The combo practices.
Joint practices.
Joint practices. Those are coming up soon.
I think they wrap up joint practices with the Rams. I forget who they have joint practices with before the Rams.
Yeah, but they've got 2 of those this year. Those are going to be
Saints.
Huge. I think it might be the Saints because that's really what preseason football is now. You're going to learn more at joint practices if they're here, or we will from those. Then we won't preseason games.
I guess it's just the Rams, and it's Thursday, August 22nd at NRG Park. That ought to be interesting. I thought it was going to be in LA or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 joint practices with the Rams available for you to actually watch. I think that joint practices are better than watching a preseason game. Obviously, you're not in the stadium and stuff like that, but I wonder if we go to that model in the near future. Anyway, that was Chris Long talking about C.J. Stroud. But Chris Long was a defensive lineman, like his dad, Howie, in the NFL for a while. Won a Super Bowl with the Patriots, won a Super Bowl with the Eagles in back-to-back years. He loves what he's seeing from the Texans on defense.
I think the Texans should be in the dog category. I think there should be 5 teams in that category. I really do.
Wow, really?
Well, why not? Because I think the defense got a lot better.
You would put them 5th.
I don't know if I'd put them 5th.
Over the Ravens?
Ravens got a lot to prove. They beat them last year in the playoffs, but I'm projecting that CJ Stroud and that whole group grows up a little bit. And when they do, it's going to be scary. Here's the thing about the defense. Everything they did, they upgraded.
Yeah.
Think about it. They go out and get an edge rusher. He's one of the best in the league, Hunter, right? I liked Grenard, but Hunter's blue chip.
Yeah.
They go out and get Al-Shaair at linebacker. That dude is going to add so much to that defense from like a range perspective and the whole thing. I was geeking about that signing.
He likes the defense. He thinks the defense is going to improve a lot this year. Hey, if we want to talk about how the offense is struggling, the defense is certainly not struggling. You've been getting rave reviews about second-round corner Kamari Lassiter from just about everybody. Azeez Al-Shaair as a leader from everybody. Derek Stingley Jr. probably has been the star of camp, at least as far as what we actually, we who are not like studying the film of training camp practices can see. And Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter have been massive pains in the ass, and they're doing this all without Danico Autry, who's suspended the first 6 games. So defense, the defense making a big jump this coming season. I can see it happening.
Al-Shaair is the guy that I'm probably the most excited about, just because he seems to be the sportsgasm. Is the way I would put it.
What do you mean by that?
Like the way just like DJ Bieneme yesterday, and everyone's just like cannot stop saying enough great things about.
Oh, he's the.
Yeah.
I think you got to reframe that. You and your hand motions, and sportscast.
I think that was a good
I get
one.
it. The deep steel blue pill, you're taking it. So
Yeah.
And ladies, she'll love it too.
Yeah. But he's the guy that everyone's so excited about in camp.
The meat and potatoes.
Yeah. And then Sting, like Derek Stingley Jr.
Ooh,
If he's healthy,
I like that. Called him Sting.
man, I'm excited to see him this year.
Better Sting from the Police or Sting the wrestler?
Sting the wrestler?
No, wrong.
No.
Every breath you take. Stalker's national anthem. Come on.
Sting the wrestler.
I'll be watching you.
The-
Oh, can't you see you belong to me? Should I unblock that girl that ghosted me and text her that?
Yeah, just text her the
No.
lyrics to
No.
I'll Be
I
Watching
get a
You.
restraining order.
Yes.
I mean, it would be bad for me, but it would be a funny radio bit.
Can we get them to drop off the restraining order while we're on the air?
Yeah.
Can
Can
we
you get
cord-
s-
can
can
we
you get
coordinate?
served
Yeah.
with papers in the middle of a segment?
Yeah, can we get like Esme come knock on the door while we're on the air and be like, Paul, there's someone to see you.
I hope Esme who's at the front desk, Esme knows. Like, if someone's coming for Paul, I'm gonna stop him.
Yeah,
By
send
any
him
means
one.
Play
necessary.
defense.
Play defense. You got a Texan swarm, baby.